Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is VRML preseason, week 4, winding down towards the end of the week here with a match between Toxic Units and Calamity. So for your casting crew today, it's Palidore at the booth as per usual, and well, as per usual for these European matches, TutorialBot joining me. How's it going?
It's going splendidly well, thank you very much. And today we've got two teams that we predict, and we being, a silly European lot, should be a very evenly contested game. We don't know for sure, but that's the lowdown. That's kind of what we expect. We've got Calamity and Toxic Units, of course. I think Calamity is waiting on their fourth right now. I believe there are a couple of substitutions happening again today. The usual rosters not being quite what they usually are. Email, I believe, is he's sitting in for Taco on Tuesday or Thursday. I forget which day he eats tacos, but Email, I believe, is covering his shift today. So Dominic, bad internet, and Master One, it's business as usual. And then over on Calamity, we have got a man that needs no introduction, Denials, formerly known as Teniles, long-time player for EU, incredible defender back then. They actually used to call him Denials. That's why he's using this name now, because he was such an incredible shot stopper. He's a great long passer as well, and he's a really smart player.
Right.
And he used to play with me actually back. He took me on board and put me on Ding. Ambient again, he played with Backlash. He helped them get to the stages of qualifying last season. And Troy hasn't been playing for quite so long, but he's definitely showed a lot of potential and promise. Infiltrate's been around for a very long time as well. He's a really good mid defensive player, and he can really surprise you as well with long shots and stuff like that. I don't have as much scope on Toxic Units, but I have seen them play, and I've seen them. I remember watching them play against Vision, and they did incredibly well. They really did. They had incredible stacks. Their defending was fantastic. So it will be really interesting to see how this one turns out today. Obviously, the substitutions could make somewhat of a difference, but again, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, well, with Toxic Units, I've casted most of their matches so far. Yeah, they've been a pretty good team here, having some success. I think right now their record sets at about 4-4, if I'm correct. Yes, looks like that's the case. And yeah, well, getting ready to start here, but they've had some good success. They've competed, and I'm interested in seeing what they do. Sub aside, let's see. It's Calamity, Toxic Units, just about to go here. Welcome to the stream, everyone, there in Twitch. Hope you enjoy.
Indeed, we will all enjoy this from wherever we are right now, and where the teams are right now. We're trying to get to the disc first. It does look like it was Marcel 1 from Toxic Units that did manage to do it. Emo with the pass, it does get a little bit of a bounce on it, but it's not much of a bounce to bother him. Marcel 1 waiting patiently up at top mid right now, and it does look like there's a bit of a pass and tack situation going on. Good anchor from Bad Internet. He needed to. He went for the backboard shot then. It's not going to work out. He's going to pass it down to Emil. There's someone behind the goal. That person is Bad Internet, and he's going to put away a 2-pointer very early on for Team Toxic Units.
It's a good work up the floor there, nice and slow. A couple mishandles of the disc, but they still found that pass up there. Eventually from the nest to the backboard, and as we've known, we've seen quite frequently, it's a favorite spot, and for a good reason. High percentage shot, really close there to the goal. So rolling out now is going to be Calamity with the disc. Ambient finding Troy. Troy might have himself a one-on-one. Actually, will just opt to back it out instead. One of those kind of situations where depends on how you want to run your offensive sets, but a lot of times if you can get those multiple players outside the bubble on defense, it's good to attack those. But nonetheless, they're trying to find themselves some open angles now. Slow set offense here on the approach. And into the bubble. A little bit of trouble, but the nice stun on the goalie. Right on through for Infiltrate.
Yeah, it was a really nice punch on the goalie, and he took it immediately. Someone would have been screaming that goal was open. And also, Denials or Tenars is probably been known as one of the best, if not the best communicator in all of Europe for the longest time. So if you're on his team, you're constantly tuned in. And Bad Internet there being tuned into the fact that he could have been punched out, moving out of the way. There is still a dangerous stack going on right now. but that's not going to bother Email as he manages to find Marcel 1. Marcel 1 looking for his passing opportunity as well. That will be bad internet. Over to Sir Dominic, and now it looks like Email is pushed up as well. That disc is even more pushed up, so he's not going to get it where he wanted it, but Marcel 1 will get it nonetheless. Sir Dominic probably going for the 1v1, taken out by Niles there, not having any of that whatsoever. And again, Dominic just absolutely returning the favor with a punch, because that stack looked like they were going for their own little Q, what is it? Clear and boost, that's the one.
Yeah, close enough. But it was Email now actually with the disc and finding that pass. A little duck through. Internet going bottom of that goal. Right on another stun goalie, but it was still a tough catch no matter what. So up to 4 points now. Toxic Units and 2 for Calamity.
Yeah, that was a basic kind of 1v1. He had a bit of a duck just in case there was someone on him anyway.
So jousting out now on offense here. Grabbing it. And dishing it really quickly is Infiltrate. It's going to miss the initial catch, but gets to Troy nonetheless, and Troy will find that reset as a forward pass now goes to Ambient. Ambient way across to Troy. You see that spacing, top, bottom, and both sides, so very nice across the board. They've got a lot of angles to approach this bubble right now. And they're going to go to Denials, and he will find the score and the tie up off that assist from Troy.
That was a nice pass up to him. You know, the pass was in front of him. He got to push off to it, which meant he was immediately in a good scoring opportunity place, and he just did. Just finished it as simple as that.
And Denials, mentioned it before in these first games. This is a third match for Calamity. They debuted last week. In that first game of his, he had almost 40 points, but Troy, the steal, and going to go up by 3 now based off of that nice defensive play.
Yeah, so bad internet nearly got caught out on that exact same thing from before. And I often see this. You see a kind of cocky QB and almost get caught out, but not learning to get not caught out. And then the next time, they capitalize on it. And that's exactly what they did. And that's a pretty sort of sour three-pointer when you're considering how close these scores are right now. That stack not able to quite find it over to Marcel 1, but the pass from Marcel 1 not quite able to find Email, I think he was going for there. It's a dangerous shot towards goal. Bad internet still covering it though, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Pass back to Infiltrate now. Infiltrate very good at luring in the attack before doing anything, and that is going to be a bit of a steal for Emil, but Infiltrate is not going to mind anyway. I think Niles is going to just float up there and finish it. Look at that. He was directly underneath the goal there, but he's a very, very, very tall man with long arms. He was just able to swing it around and actually just dunk it, technically.
And Denials just sitting there for a while and doing his work there for the 9th point on Calamity's side. And it was very nice defense. Again, they caused a 2nd turnover in a row off that joust. Maybe a 3rd here if they're not careful. Toxic Units trying to get it through, and they managed to Marcel 1. Quickly on that approach, needs to get rid of it quickly. And now a mishandle will result in the 3rd turnover, but actually right back to Marcel's hands. And he's going to find the tunnel pass over to Sir Dominic. And all the meanwhile, trying to take position here for the teams on defense. Working it up, bad internet. Looking across, bit of a tough catch. So now Troy finding it, clearing it, and off into the center it goes.
Yeah, that was a bit of a fight going on there. I'm not sure what bad internet was going for. I know what he's going for there, though. He's going for a 3-pointer. That's not going to work out. It's a nice block from him, though. Ambient getting scraped off and punched out himself as he did attempt that one. And now the defense from Calamity right now is very, very deep for them, which means they are kind of inviting a little bit of pressure, and that pressure will come from Emil, and so will the shot for another 2-pointer.
That was a nice one there. Again, always tough when you make those catches on offense. You make those catches at the barrier area. That's going to be tough for a defense to save because you have so many angles to approach off that catch and so many angles to shoot it. And on top of that, the goalie was being pressured pretty heavily by the rest of the offense. So it was just kind of a lose-lose situation on that. And as a result, a 3-point match, 3-point game so far as the disc sails and is caught by Infiltrate. Trying to get that through, but maybe a recollection. Emil looking for that dish. Bad internet. Backing around and going to town. That's a 2-pointer to bring it within 1 now for Toxic Units.
Wow, they are really making this game a close one. Even with that mistake, it is now 9-8. And you know, this is kind of what we expected and kind of what we'd hoped. You know, from an entertainment point of view, it is just back and forth right now. But the attacks are working out mostly for Toxic Units right now as Infiltrate goes for the QB down to Denials. It's a straight pass down to Troy. It's a good one. It's an open shot as well, and Troy makes it for a 3-point counter again. Once again, Toxic Units, all that work, all that shooting, all that passing, and a counter is just going to lose them 3 points.
That is tough because now we have 3 minutes left on this clock. First round, 4-point game, so at minimum, we're looking at 2 scoring opportunities for Toxic before they can catch up here. And that's going to be a problem as the clock winds down. We'll see if they can work anything through. Marcel bringing it up the floor, and the stack in the back line now. 3 players for Calamity trying to get back on defense, and they do so successfully.
Yeah, Dominic now building up a play. Email's in a good place to pass down. Bad internet, an even better place to get to, and he does. This is a really close game. It really is. And if Toxic Units don't leave their goal open or don't get countered, because what Calamity did earlier is they knew just how pushed up Toxic were, and they really took advantage of that with a fast QB setup. So if that doesn't happen again, this can be anyone's game.
Oh, yeah, and that was what I was kind of saying earlier just regarding pressing those numbers when you have it. I mean, a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2 on goal is a lot better than a 4-on-4. A lot more space for the offense to work with. Now going for that deep mail slot, but it will be saved by bad internet. He finds the clear, trying to look for a boost now. All players from all teams getting back to that bubble, trying to recollect. Some stuns going through on the way. But all the meanwhile, Troy the save, but taken right back by Sir Dominic. And that was exactly what they needed because it's a tie game once again with 1:40.
And that is the pain of saving a disc that close to the person who took the shot or dunked it, is that you hold it out in your hand and you look at it like a skull. You know, is this a disc I see before me? And it's just, you don't have much time to do anything with it. So I feel for Troy there. Great save nonetheless.
It hurts. It definitely hurts, especially if you're one of those goalies who don't actually save a lot. Kind of like me, and just like, oh, wow, I actually got it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, it does happen indeed. Infiltrate right now. Again, he's really good at bringing someone in before he makes the pass. So it's always something that he's been interested in doing. Nice little 1-2 passing around from a Calamity. It's going to be a nice finish, possibly. Bad internet, denying that completely, though, from Denials. But look at the stack speed from Calamity. And that punch and the shot, it's not going to work out. That could have been an awful 3-point, especially with the amount of time right now. There is only 50 seconds on the clock. It is a running clock. The scores are tied. And right now, it is going to be a bit of a problem for Calamity, because if Toxic Units take as much time as they need and then end up getting this last point, this is going to be their round. And Calamity know it as well. And they're really aggressive on it. They are going to exchange and trade punches. It will be Niles that does get the punch off. Now it's going to be a race. And whoever scores this next one, they're going to win this round. And both teams know it. It's going to be an attempted boot bounce. Is it going to work in there? I think it dings. That's not going to quite be it. But Sir Dominic has the disc still, and he's going to go for it. Niles again, exchanging those punches. This one is surely going to favor Calamity. They are the only ones in that half bet. In come Toxic with the speed. Oh! It's a ding. Bad internet holding it just in front of the goal.
Get rid of it.
That could have been
awful. Get rid of it.
And it's overtime.
Jeez. Oh, man.
Woo!
Take a breath, my friend. That was, whew, indeed. It is an overtime here in the first round. There were a couple opportunities, as Tutorial had mentioned there, and just back and forth. It looked like Calamity could have had that. It was close, but that ding at the last second definitely hurt them. And as a result, OT it goes. First to the disc is going to be Calamity. Deep in there on the other end off that stack. There's a couple players for both teams, all encroaching on that disc at the same time. Huge dogpile forming, but a big intercept for Infiltrate. Infiltrate will go up high. That shot going back down low on the recovery. Troy dishing a nice one over on the cross, and the victory ambient. 14-12, Calamity in overtime.
It is massive to get that off when it is in overtime. Just knowing that, you know, you've essentially completed that entire round with that one little moment, and it's equally just as frustrating because obviously 10 minutes of shooting, passing, play all comes down to that one finish. So if you're the guy to do it, it feels good. So good for you, Ambient. And a nice setup there from Calamity. I actually noticed that they kept Troy back. they delayed him in the tunnel so that if they were not going to be the ones to actually get the disc, as often can happen, there were going to be no surprise or scary 3-pointers or open goals, which was smart stuff.
And I notice a lot of these overtimes too. You'll have those last couple minutes of a round coming down. It gets forced into an overtime. No one's able to score, and then off the OT joust. It's fairly often though. I do notice we see those goals within about 30 seconds or so of OT.
Yep.
Just based off the kind of the scramble. They have those few seconds to recollect between the round ending and OT, and then it results in a fast ending at the other end. But either way, very nice first round, super competitive, exactly what we are hoping for. As we go back to the gameplay here, and round 2 is set to begin.
Yeah, it was as close as I said. That round was as close as we would hope for. But I've often seen this. I've seen a very, very close first round, and then suddenly one team completely dominates the next round. And let's see if that's going to happen now. I don't think it will. I don't hope it will. But right now, Calamity with a pass over to Troy. It's going to be a clear and boost opportunity, but that will be an intercept by Bad. He's going for the shot. Troy denying that one completely. Emil then denying the clear. This is just changing hands right now. Marcel considering a shot. Probably not the right thing to do in the moment. Didn't have too many options. But right now, it is going to still be his team with the disc. Bad internet. Passing over through the middle. Not quite finding him directly, but the bounce pass will be enough. It is going to be Emil at the top mid, dangerous position right now. It's going to go for a bounce shot. Might have hit someone's head.
Uh-oh.
That panicky, that dinged as well. That is going to be a rebound into the shield. Somebody wants to get that out of there, but they're still not quite able to. And it will be an anchor shot that comes off Infiltrate for a 2-pointer after all that fighting back and forward.
Could not get it out of there. Instead, they got it in there, right through the cracks of the defense. The goalie being stunned. It was one of those things, like at the other end of the last round, where it's like, just get it out of there. But managing to finally score was Toxic Units, and will be taken here up top by Troy, dishing it to the center area where Denials waits and hands it off as the defense once again takes place. You can see the barrier covered, and the other 3 players there for Toxic Units just trying to space out on defense and cover their defensive marks.
It's actually quite interesting to see Niles holding the disc, inviting them in to do something before he moves off. You know, although it's only 2 points and there's a lot of time, that is the losing team. And it's surprising to see the losing team do that. It's a very nice pass up to Niles there. He'll get a little bounce off, and that will be saved. Infiltrate wants another go. He's going to give it to Ambient, let him have another go. And he will get the 2. But that was a nice save. But as often happens, the save is not enough when the clear lands into someone else's hand. And in 4v4, I'm seeing this happen more and more.
Oh yeah, even more so than in 3v3. It is so important now to get rid of that disc fast, but not only fast, but in the right place. So many intercepts going through, and you see those second chance scoring opportunities off that. And it's tough. It's one of those things that I think players and teams will be more aware of in the meta as this rolling underhand shot goes through, but taken by Bad Internet. Flung out. Another one of those intercept kind of things where it'll get to Troy because of it. Troy biding his time, but gets punched for his efforts as it sails back into the other side, and stacks start to form. And Toxic Units there first. One more pass. Little astray, so another turnover, this time to Calamity's side.
Yeah, Troy's going to get rid of that disc, but it will be Bad Internet from Toxic Units that has the disc now. Again, taking his time, not feeling totally stressed. Emil again, it's a really nice fast pass down to him. He's going to go for a pass down to Sir Dominic, and now they are really in the attacking positions. He's got a couple of options. That is going to be a very bizarre goal indeed. If I saw it correctly, he grabbed it, kind of hooped it over his head, and Infiltrate, again, getting hands on it, but not enough.
Yeah, very unfortunate turnaround there on the turnaround shot. It kind of slowly floated through, then bounced off into the goal. Just a unlucky ricochet. But this, oh boy, whose disc is it going to be? Because we've seen this a few times. Luckily, Infiltrate the Leech able to get there before they're punished hard for that. So fortunate turnaround considering the mistake, but nonetheless, maybe a 2-point play. But that is to say, no, it's Infiltrate. Not late on that one. Gets the clear, and it's out of here.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, normally when you see that mistake happen, it's almost a guaranteed 3-pointer from the other team. Infiltrate did not give up. He clung onto it, not only making sure that he could do something with the disc and prevent maybe a 3, making it a 2, but actually, you know, stopping it altogether by grabbing on. That was a dangerous situation for Calamity there. And Marcel 1 trying to go for the clear. Infiltrate often in the top middle position. That is his favorite place. He will be hiding there a lot. They just found that out. Niles with a nice pass over to Ambient. He's going to want to take the 1v1.
Oh!
Saved by Bad Internet. That was exactly what Bad Internet wanted to do. He saw the high position there. He knew the probability, as I mentioned the other day. And that is exactly how it panned out. But it looks like it's going to be Sir Dominic now attempting to get the clear off. Ambient will take that. Troy not quite able to get his hands on that now. It's going to be a bit of a fight. Troy with the shot, and it's going in. Marcel left the goal a little too quick, a little too wide, and I think his team are going to be a little upset at that. It does happen. I think there's no way he expected the shot to be taken off there.
A risky play there, leaving it exposed off of all those turnovers and back-to-back plays. But they will take the 1-point lead now for Calamity just the same. Bad Internet diving, denying that stack, the first intercept, but now on the punch, Denial's trying to cause a turnover. Bad Internet trying to help his friend. Now they miscatch on the other end. Sir Dominic will come away with that. He does have some defense right in the area trying to pressure hard, and they will actually take it back because of it, but only a pass instead. Right back to Bad Internet. So back and forth as the disc sails into the 2-point zone. The stack comes on through. Everyone grabbing that one and now handling it and trying to dismantle it, but dismantling the shot. Troy VR. So we're seeing it back and forth. These saves, great goalkeeping at play in the close range.
What an amazing save by Troy then. Bad Internet outmaneuvered everyone to get himself into the scoring opportunity. But in the end, it was Troy with a fantastic save that completely denied that. And what an important deny is. That is a close shot on goal, but it's not going to be quite enough. It is going to be Sir Dominic chasing the disc. Infiltrate with a creative bounce pass down to Ambient. He's punched out, but that will land into the hands of Troy, which will then find Sir Dominic. The Bad Internet is probably going to go for the clear. He does. It's a good clear, but it's going to have to be a fast stack if they want to get there before Infiltrate does. Infiltrate winning the disc, but not winning the clear. And right now, it's going to be a fight in the middle.
This is just rapid pace, machine gun play here. It's going back and forth. These shots, these clears, that one overshot and then rebounded again. So again, franticness coming out. This is a torrid speed we're looking at from both these teams in these last couple minutes of play. Absolutely all over the floor. And now recollecting again. Calamity with possession, but for how long is the question? Because without question, the defense is here causing so many problems, but now trying to cause a problem and getting it done, making it a 3-point game for Calamity, pulling up ahead late. 3 minutes left in the second.
Yeah, real close game here, and those opportunities to take a 1v1 cannot be missed. And it was Niles making sure that he would not only not miss that opportunity, but not miss the shot, and he didn't. So now they are a solid 3-point ahead of Calamity, and that is going to be evened out immediately from the angle by Sir Dominic. All that work from Calamity. They were a good 3 points up, and Sir Dominic was like, no, let's bring this back to a tie.
That was excellent there. I think it was Sir Dominic an assist. I'm not positive on that one. It looked like the scoreboard anyway. It said might have been Marcel, but either way, what a game so far. Once again, 2 minutes left, Tutorial, and we find ourselves in another situation where we're tied up and maybe looking at it overtime. Who knows?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think it was actually Marcel won the shot. My bad. But in any case, it was what an important 3-pointer to bring that back down to 7-7. Bear in mind, the last game went to OT. Surely neither team is going to want this to be an OT situation again. So Dominic right now getting punched out by Troy. Troy getting punched out by Emil. Then it's going to be Denials that's going to take it. He's going to pass it down to Ambient. Ambient's going to finish that for another 2-pointer. And right now, they are just often with their 1 foot ahead of the other teams right now. It is a close game, but it right now is leaning very lightly in the direction of Calamity. And of course, they do have that all-important first round as well.
Right, and if we do see, though, this the same type of gameplay we just saw the last couple of minutes with all that defense, the turnovers, things like that. I mean, if that pace keeps up, it may indeed favor. Oh my goodness, that one almost looking rough. Infiltrate taking that one. I was worried once it went off the backboard because the dive just seemed a little bit late, but you know what? He still got it. Sir Dominic going to retain it. Emil trying to find Bad Internet. Bad Internet with no available pass with the heavy pressure there. Might still be collected there if they're lucky for Toxic Units. About 50 seconds left, 55. So maybe playing here another possession and holding it for that last shot or close to it if they can. They can tie it with 2 or take the lead with 3.
Yeah, I was holding my breath for that shot. Well, Infiltrate saved. Just going to go for a backboard anchor shot. Probably not the right idea in that moment in time, but it's still going to be a bounce that could favor them. Troy having absolutely none of that now. He's not quite able to get the disc. It's going to get cleared away by Denials, and now it's going to be stacking situation. He's going to get punched out by Bad Internet, and what an important punch as well, because now Sir Dominic is back to help defend for his team, as is Emil, and that disc is going to be stuck into the middle. It's going to be for Marcel, and we're going to have a racing situation again. And if it's a 2-pointer now, if it's a 2-point situation happening from Toxic Units, then we are going to go to OT. But with only a certain amount of seconds left, it will have to be quick. And it's not, as it's saved. And the game is saved completely. Once again, in a situation where all it mattered, all that counted was that last 2-pointer. And I'm not sure who it was that denied that, but wow.
Wow, indeed. Right to the very end on a clutch save, round winning, and ultimately series winning there for Calamity. Causing a calamity on the defensive end for sure. And I think it goes back to that possession by Toxic Units, that second to last shot they had taken before the turnover. They went for the anchor shot. There was a lot of time left and wasn't heavily contested, so I think they're going for the win. But that's a risky thing, because even if they had made the shot, you would have still given Calamity enough time to joust back again and go on offense and win. So kind of one of those situations that if you're Toxic Units, maybe you'd want to take it back and just play for either the last shot or at least a better opportunity there.
Yeah, the 3-point anchor shot is a high risk, high reward play, and if you are going for that, you're going to need to think way up your options about whether or not you really need the 3. Now, if you're in a situation where you're the losing team, I would probably say with some hindsight or some foresight that that's not necessarily the right way to go. But when you've only got a certain amount of seconds left, you've got 3 other teammates in your brain, in your head, which also contains a brain screaming at you, that can force people to do such things. But in any case, this has been as close as it possibly could be, and consolation round now. Toxic Units, they're gonna want it.
Such strong defensive play too, not only in the midfield but at the goal. We've seen a lot of fantastic saves from both of these teams. You see the boost coming through, Troy trying to deny it on the other side as a stack comes in from Calamity to contest it, so another loose disc because of it. Now, very strong again on the defensive end. I noticed on the last games from Calamity too, their passing play was incredibly crisp. So far though, it's just going to be another turnover and trying to maybe get that mail slot a little bit too much to the left. There's a stack on the recollection, but rejected if nothing else by the backboard itself. Can't quite find the angle, so back to the other side it will go.
Disc is going to be free right now. This should be an easy 2 for Troy. It is, which means they will start this game 2 in front. And as always, or not as always, as usual, as we've seen the last 2 rounds, they usually tended to have their foot in front for most of the game, and it was Toxic Units chasing them. I'm sure Toxic Units are going to want to change that, at least for the 1 round, consolation or otherwise. And it's going to be Bad Internet with the QB right now. Very fast punch by Troy there. It should be an open shot situation. Niles makes things easy, especially underneath, and he does for 3 points on the board. Niles, one of the only players I know that has consistently shot underarm for the entire thing. And I don't mean the underarm crazy flick you see sometimes people doing. I mean a controlled underarm shot at long distance.
Yeah, nice and controlled. It did look. It wasn't too fast. It was just accurate. And sometimes that's just exactly what you need, especially in those situations where, you could get panicked. We see a lot of these shots just be sent in a panic quickly down the floor, these clears as well. And, just being controlled with that disc is something Calamity and Denials in general has been good with. for their time here in VRML, and even dating back to previous seasons with VRL and things like that. It's just the calm play and just the patient offense, defense, and now going in for the shot, but being punched out is Emil. So taking it back, it's Sir Dominic now. Going with another pass to bad internet, but he will be stunned out too. Denials on the pressure, and another ding there off the post. So you see what I mean there? It's just there's so much pressure coming in. The shots are quick. They're not quite as accurate as you want to be, but at the same time, it's hard because you want to get that off quickly. But it's a balance, and it's a tough one sometimes in these breakneck games.
Yeah, breakneck indeed. Speed right now, breakneck from Ambient and Niles. They definitely seem to be the fastest boosters on their team. So Dominic is going to intercept that. He's going for a pass down. I'm not sure if he had a miscommunication there as to who was down there. Taking the shot certainly wasn't an option. Bad internet, not able to get his hands on it. This is a very fast stack going through by Calamity. It's not as controlled as they'd want, but the goal is still open. Niles does make these, as I said, and that will be another 3-pointer. And yeah, if you notice, 15 meters a second, 60 meters a second, he doesn't have the fastest shot because it's underarm. It's hard to generate speed. But my goodness, the accuracy. Niles has always been able to find a pass from arena to arena with absolute pinpoint accuracy. It would never really exceed 60 meters a second, but it often didn't need to.
And kind of something that I go for usually with my shots too. Just I've never been a fast shot, but I've always been, happy with at least being accurate, if nothing else. Of course, in 4v4 situations, you won't get as many great opportunities, open opportunities, but so far, Calamity buying themselves those opportunities based off that fast stack that gave themselves plenty of time as Sir Dominic comes in for another grab, and there's a save and a clear right into the other atmosphere, going there for orange in the orange bubble, and maybe some trouble, but no, getting there first. So again, talk about that quickness, that nimbleness from Calamity. They buy themselves more opportunities with that speed for the defense, for the offense, all across the floor. Now going in for 2 more. It is Sir Dominic, assisted by Emil. And there's the 2 points now on the board for Toxic Units in this 3rd round.
Okay, so they haven't won this game, but, moments like that's going to make you proud. I mean, like, a great little save there by Sir Dominic. Not an easy one in any sense at all. And I've seen a lot of that from, like, Troy as well in this game. It really is impressive stuff.
And not just the offense there, but even the defense getting that save on the other end to cause it, and then managing to get back for the score. So really all across the board, Sir Dominic having a hand in that play as Infiltrate tries to infiltrate that 2-point zone with that pass. Cannot do so, but still will collect his disc anyways, and denials. One more cross on over. Positioning nicely there is Infiltrate, but being covered by Marcel also on the defense. So good recognition there from Toxic Units. And dogpile away.
Troy now with the disc floating backwards, waiting to see what he's going to have to do, waiting a little too long as the stack comes clearing in, and this will be a very dangerous bounce, almost going in there, just missing by about a disc length. Dominic in a dangerous place. Denials denying that one though. Again, not letting that happen. There is a stack for Team Toxic Units right now, and they are going to want to make sure that they utilize that because the disc isn't actually in their possession, and this could be a 3, but Sir Dominic is going to say not today, as bad internet now is actually having the disc taken off him by Troy, who is going to ding it as well. Oh my goodness, that was almost another 3. Ambient with the backboard, a good backboard as well, hard to save, and that will be 2 more points for Team Calamity.
So up to the tune of 10-2 now for Calamity. They have 4 minutes left. That was good execution there. Toxic Units just could not collect the disc off the clear. It was bouncing all over the place and just outside their grasp a little bit faster. So it ended up kind of spelling disaster on that particular play. But right here, Marcel trying to collect it again. It's one of those situations where C just sails right past. Not enough time to find it, but luckily bad internet will, because he's sitting there in the back line for that tunnel clear interception. And now Emil finding that past the shoulder, and now taking it over, Infiltrate. And another clear into the side it goes of Toxic Units as they try and get back on defense.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, with 3 minutes 21 to go, they're going to have a huge scoring campaign if they want to take this consolation round. And at the moment, it is actually Troy with a very accidentally creative pass down to Infiltrate. Niles there trying to reach for the disc. That bounce could spell trouble for Toxic Units, but not trouble enough. Infiltrate making sure that he keeps the disc in play for his team. There is someone on shield, not the pass he could use to be able to push forward, but he pushed back just enough as well. And now that pass will go straight up to Infiltrate. There are people in dangerous places, and that person from Team Calamity, Troy there, dangerous shot, but not going to go in as the disc is free now. And this could be a possibly 3-point opportunity for Toxic Units. He's not able to get his hands on it, unfortunately. That will not be turned into 3, and it really needs to be if they're going to want to take this last round.
2.5 to make it happen, but indeed falling behind by a few goals now, so it will be tough. Trying to muster any energy they can to recover that disc. Contesting Troy there and now getting the clear, but another intercept in that midline. A common theme for this game, where we just see the possession change hands so many times, and now in for another score. Denials piling on some more. The piles.
If you are in a situation where Niles is underneath, anywhere on the level or underneath the goal, at almost any range, he is going to absolutely score that. That is for him his strongest position. And 3 times he's had a long open shot under the goal, and 3 times he's taken it, and 3 times he's made it.
And I know, as Troy intercepts.
There by Troy, he's going to have his own shot, but not having quite the finesse of Niles means that one is not going to work out quite the same way. That's going to be a pass over. Very quick finish as well by Niles. And this game is surely over.
And Niles, we're going to say before that intercept happened there, I know in the early days of Echo Arena, he was more so known as being a great goalie. But certainly over the course of the seasons, over the course of the last couple of years, turning himself not only into a good goalie, but a very strong offensive player. This makes 3 matches in a row now from Denials, where he's scoring at a quick rate, getting those double digits. Right now, he finds himself 17 points. But very strong offensive player. Again, he had that 38-point game, I want to say it was, the first match. The second match he had, I believe, was in the neighborhood of 25, 26. So strong play from Denials here today, and Calamity in this 3rd round especially.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense because he was always a fantastic passer, as I said, so that he just passes to the goal. And it works.
Yeah, exactly. If you can be accurate on the passes, why not the goal as well? Just working out well. Marcel finding Emil, trying to, but it'll sail past. With Troy finding it the 2nd time and slapping it right back. Maybe a 3rd time even. Why not? Play some basketball with himself right there. But actually, it will be a turnover. Cannot convert on the goal. So with 11 seconds left, 10 and counting, maybe one more here. Goes down low, and Marcel, but saved. Infiltrate right at the latest moment. And now the round will come to a close. 15-2 Calamity.
That last round not being as close as the other 2, but those first 2 were so close. And really well played from Toxic Units. Once again, proving that they're incredible passers. They're smart in their positioning. They're great boosters. Unfortunately, a couple of open goals and some fantastic saves from Troy and others meant that this time it didn't work out for them. But I would say that this team here, Calamity, that's the one that they're going to keep their eye on and definitely can take it.
Just look at those saves on both columns here. We have 8 for Infiltrate, 4 for Troy, 4 for Sir Dominic, 6 from Bad Internet. And that's not even considering the fact that there's probably saves in there that weren't even counted by the game. So once more, I find myself continuously impressed by just the incredible goalkeeping defense that I'm seeing from a lot of these European players, kind of sticking to that theme over the seasons where they're just producing these fantastic goalies and defenders.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a complete highlight to see all these people making these saves, and I imagine they're going to continue doing it, and I look forward to seeing that.
Absolutely. So high score there is Denials with the 17, Troy 11, 8 points to Ambient, 2 to Infiltrate. The high assist man is Troy over on Calamity as well, and then over on the Toxic Units side, we have the high 8 points from Bad Internet. Emil with 2, Sir Dominic with 4, the 5 assists from Emil as well. So good to see there. And just taking a look too at those are team stats real quick. Kind of didn't make a note to check that as often as I probably should have, but you can see that. I mean, the possession time pretty much equal there. shots taken pretty much equal. It just came down to better offense off of some great defense from Calamity in that one, and there you have it. Now that said, we do have ourselves another game, so can't dwell too long on this one. We have Alpha Ducks and Vertigo next, I do believe. So we're going to get right to it with a quick intermission, and we'll be back here very shortly, or at least I shall be.
Indeed. So from me, thanks for watching and enjoy the next match.
All right, we'll be right back. Bye, guys.